Hi, my name is Jackie Murray, and I'm your guide through these 32 lessons in the Structured Learning Technology curriculum for second graders. This is lesson 9, and we're going to start on word processing with second graders. Now, they've done word processing, but really we've called it pre-word processing because what it's done is focus on the elements that go into word processing rather than, the typical program like Docs or Word or OpenOffice, something like that. So this time, though, we're going to open one of those traditional word processing programs. They have worked on adding text, editing text, formatting it, adding pictures to it, and saving and printing and all those other good things. They've done all of those. So they're just going to take those skills, put them together into the program you're using today. Remind them as you go through it that they have done editing. How did they do it in the past? So for instance, some of the questions, the problems, what's the difference between backspace and delete? What's the difference between save and save as? What's the difference between edit and format? You'll be surprised how many of them think it's the same thing. So start this. What is the difference? Understand that one, editing is correcting, formatting is making it prettier in very general terms. But formatting could include editing, but editing probably doesn't include adding a border. So you want them to know the differences between those. What's the difference between menu, ribbon, and toolbars? Now, this one's an important one. You're going to do a project with a number square. So if students don't finish it, it's fine. It's a long project. It's tedious. That's probably the wrong word. It's repetitive. So there are lots of steps so that they get used to doing things. If they don't finish it, that's fine. You can have them finish it at home or some other time, but whatever they get done is going to be fine. Make sure they understand that because some students will get stressed by that. Okay, the essential question, how do I use technology for math? We just picked math because of the number square, but in essence, you want students to realize, develop an awareness that tech tools help learning. So that's what we're doing here. They're using a number square, which they probably used in their class already. They're using it in technology, and technology is making it easier to fill out that number square. These are particular to your number square. But then saving the project to digital portfolios. You start assessing that they do this properly because you need them to do this. There will come a time where you go into their file folder looking for a project that you can grade. And if they haven't saved it correctly, then you can't do that. So you want to assess them on that early and often, and assess them on annotating their workbook. They're going to use their workbook. If you have one, if you're using workbooks, they're going to use it for this project a lot. So make sure they know how to use it and they get comfortable using it. They will in this lesson because they're going to use it a lot. Okay, they're going to start with keyboarding on the QWERTY row using a program that only does the QWERTY row, like Popcorn Typer. Students who didn't finish their Google Earth project last class, they can take time during the keyboarding to finish it, but that's all they get is that 10 minutes. So whatever they get done in that 10 minutes is it. Other than that, it's on their own time. They come in after school, before school, whenever to finish it up. So this lesson starts a unit on word processing, using whatever your word processing program is. I've listed a few: Google Docs, MS Word, OpenOffice, online versions of those tools, whatever it is. So they all are going to be different with different tools operated slightly differently. Some of them you won't be able to do like a border in Google Docs. You can, absolutely you can, but it's a little too hard for second graders. You might decide you're going to save that for middle school or later. So you adapt your word processing tool to the instructions so it fits. The goal is, as we said back here, that students develop awareness of how tech tools help learning, not that they learn to put a border on a document. Okay, so you have a number square all laid out for them already. And I've got an example for you here. This is in their workbook also. You can have this digitally for them to fill out, Then they just load it into Microsoft Word or Google Docs, or you and or that's probably it. I was going to say or printed, but that kind of defeats our purpose, so we don't want to do that. So they're going to open the number square whatever way. If you do open it as a download, so go here and download it to your computer, great time to teach that skill. So don't worry if it takes you extra time, because that's a wonderful skill to learn. Discuss number squares with them a little bit. Make sure you've talked to the class teacher, you know what the class has talked about with number squares over here. And so discuss that and ask for their input on what is a number square, what's its purpose, how is it organized, those types of things. And then review the word processing program you're using. Here's some ideas of what you're going to review. Just open the program and then show them where font size, they're only using certain tools here. So you're not teaching the entire program. You're only teaching the use of these certain tools. So I would discuss backspace and delete, format and edit, and then I discuss these specific tools. So let's say I'm in Word, and Google Docs is pretty similar. I'm going to go to bold, italics, underline. I'm going to go to color, the color of the font size, name, and size. And those are the major ones I'm going to talk about. Here's the larger and smaller. Those are the ones that they're going to use. Don't worry about all these others and all these other menu items up here that you can't see on my screen. But the only ones you want them to pay attention to is the font, the size, and the color here, so that they understand, how do I do that? Then when we go back here and want to fill in the missing numbers, well, then they're going to use their annotation tool, and you're not specifying a font there, but over here, change font size for all multiples of 9 to 24. So they're going to have to know how to go into that font size and change it. Change font on numbers that end in 7 to Comic Sans. So they need to know how to go into the font type and change it to Comic Sans, and then the color. So those are the ones you're focusing on here. That's it. We're not trying to get them great at word processing. We'll do that later. But here they're just having a handful of skills to get comfortable with before doing more. Okay, so then you're going to demonstrate. I'm just looking at these real quick, but I think these are all fine. Demonstrate, fill in the first line, change fonts, exactly that. So they're going to do that. Here, this is in right here, and the directions are included there. Let's see if they have them, how they have it laid out here for them. They have it like that, so they can see right there. These are the things they're going to do, 5 things, and then it's done right down here using their annotation tool. Depending upon your tool, you may find it hard to change font, change size, change color. So they're going to have to adapt, and you adapt. So if you know, I go into fill and sign, and do they have colors on fill and sign? I don't think so. Here's ABC. So I could do 4, but see, it doesn't have, it could make it bigger. So, whoops, okay. So you can make it bigger, but it didn't have colors, so we're not going to be able to do that. So that's all right. You'll adapt for whatever you have. The idea is that they get used to this and doing these different steps with their tool. Okay. And here's the toolbar. It's easier for them to find too. And I think that's about it. Their exit ticket, you want them to work with their neighbor, verify that they saved, printed, published, shared the number square. However you do that. If you want them to print, that's fine. They have it here. They'll just print that page. If you want them to take a screenshot and send that to you, or save it as a PDF and then send that, however you do it for your second graders is fine. But they're going to verify for each other that happened. For those who get done early, here's some good number square links to go through. Pretty cool ones. If they're on iPads, this is really good. If they're on iPads, it makes it real simple to fill the stuff in, but now we're not, so you'll have no problem with that. All right. All right, guys. I think that's it. So let me know if you have questions. I'm on the discussion board. I try to respond within a day. And have a good week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.